How best is your pronunciation? Do you speak and pronounce English words naturally? Well, I'll encourage you to watch this video to the end because there's a bonus tip at the end of the video.
Let's learn English.
My name is Sandy Opondinchi, a passionate student journalist and a blogger at the Ghana Institute of Journalism, and I'm the host for the campus show, an English trainer, and your ambassador here on the Ambassadorial Coach. When speaking English, a lot of things that people take note of are the way you pronounce the words. They might forgive you, a little way of forgiving you about your grammar construction if you don't know, but mispronouncing or not pronouncing words correctly is a very bad thing to do, and then people might look at you in a very awkward way. So here on today's episode, we are looking at the best hacks, the best tricks to improve your pronunciation for you to sound natural. So the first tip we are looking at is the use of technology. I believe technology has come to change this modern world. One basic way you can be able to improve upon your pronunciation of certain English words are the use of technology on Google and then on YouTube. Most often when I'm searching for a word on Google, when I go to Google and I search for the word, for instance, I am searching for a word like onomatopoeia. This word, I don't know the meaning, I don't know how it really sounds. When I search for the word onomatopoeia on Google, I get to know the meaning, and then I go a step further to click on the sound button on the Google form for them to pronounce it for me to get the right pronunciation. You can also learn pronunciation same with technology on YouTube. I believe there are a lot of videos on YouTube whereby you can watch to improve your English, as I believe you are watching right now. As you are watching, there are a lot of things you are learning. The second step is the use of high frequency words. What is the use of high frequency words? High frequency words are words you use often within your field. So if you are a journalist, if you are a doctor, if you are an architect, there are certain basic words you use within your field. So within this word, you have to list them down and then write them and then practice each time to be able to know how to pronounce certain words. When you take a profession or a field like a doctoring profession, someone who is a doctor, there are certain words that they use, like a stethoscope, the temperature, high speed of something, the machines and all that. So as a doctor, you're supposed to list the certain words that you frequently use in your field to be able to know how to pronounce them correctly, so that when you go to work and you're either speaking to your boss or your colleagues, you can be able to speak or mention or pronounce the word correctly. Now let's move on to the third hack of improving your pronunciation is break down big words into smaller syllables. I remember way back in class 5, my class 5 teacher wrote a word on the board, and almost all of us in the class found it very difficult to pronounce the word, including myself. And one thing or one trick she taught us was that when you are pronouncing a big word, you should divide the words into smaller syllables. And since then, anytime I'm pronouncing a big word, I try my possible best to divide them into smaller syllables and be able to pronounce the word well. So when you take a word like manipulation, if you are finding it very difficult to pronounce the word manipulation, you then break them into smaller syllables and then pronounce the word. So over time, when you do this, the word will become natural to you. When you start dividing them into smaller syllables, it will seem unusual in your ears, but as you keep pronouncing the word, it will become normal to you, and then before you realize, you could see that you are pronouncing the word manipulation very easily and very correctly. The fourth tip is speak English often. If you are trying to improve upon your pronunciation of English words, I will encourage you to speak English often. When you speak English often, as they say, practice makes perfect. So as you are always speaking English, by all means you make mistake. As we are learning here, most people think, well, Andy is very good at English. Fine, I'll not deny that fact, but a lot of things that I don't know. I remember I shared a short story or something on my broadcast on WhatsApp, and then a colleague of mine commented and told me there's a little grammar mistake within that sentence I made, and I said, okay, what should I do now? And then the person corrected me and then reframed the sentence back to me. So with this, if I hadn't written that story, that very short story on that broadcast on WhatsApp, the person wouldn't have corrected me. So you're supposed to come out from your little box, your little shell, and then speak English. Most often we feel that when you're at home, you're supposed to speak your local language. There's no problem with that. I have no problem. But often also when you speak the English language at home, at school, at church, it helps for other people to be able to let you know that, oh my dear, you didn't pronounce this word well, or this is the way we pronounce this word. The fifth point or hack or trick I'm giving you to improving your pronunciation is for you to read out every day, to build your jaw and then exercise your muscle and then strengthen it. I love reading, and most at times when I'm reading novels, they always say silent reading. When you're in a mix of people, you're supposed to read silently, which is the good thing to do. But at times when I'm alone, I feel reading silently, I become tired and then become bored. I'll just begin to read aloud to hear myself. And at times you could hear that, okay, I think I'm getting better at being able to read well or being able to talk well. The last one is listen more carefully to others when they speak. One thing I have learned very tactfully along the journey of me learning how to speak English is to listen to people very carefully. Anytime I hear someone speak English and mentions a word I don't know, I either ask the person or more often I go on Google to search or jump into my dictionary to search for the word. When you listen to people more often as they speak, you learn from them. As I believe right now, you are watching me, you are learning. There is something that you want to learn here. So you are quietly, intently listening to me. There will be something that I'll say. So when in conversation with my colleagues, friends, or whoever, wherever, and they are talking, I try my possible best to listen to them very carefully. And then when they mention a word I don't know, I either ask them or often I go on my dictionary to search for the word and then search for the pronunciation of words. Remember, no one is perfect. There is a word you know that I don't know. So when we are chatting and you mention a word, I should be able to learn that word from you, and that will be it. I'll not get the time again to come across that word and learn it, the meaning and then the pronunciation. So if you mention a word and I have not heard it before and I don't know what it means, that's the best place to ask you, what's the meaning of this word, or how do you pronounce it? Or better still, I can jump onto my dictionary on my phone and then search for the meaning of the word you mentioned, which I don't know. So this is the 6 hacks I gave you based on how to improve your pronunciation. And then I told you at the beginning of the video that I said a bonus tip of this video. If you are still watching, a very big thumbs up to you. The bonus tip I'm giving you is that one basic way you should be able to improve your pronunciation in English is, and I must say before I give you this tip, is that I have done this tip over time now, and I've seen the process whereby I'll see and correct myself, or someone would also tell me, oh Andy, the way you pronounce this word, it should have been this way, or Andy, you are speaking so fast, you should have taken your time. So the bonus tip I'm giving you as a hack or a trick to improve your pronunciation in English language is that record yourself. So you have learned certain words in your field as a doctor. You have written certain words down, as I told you in the second point, your high frequency words, and you have written the words down and you are trying to pronounce them. You have divided them into smaller syllables. You are good at that. When you finish, the best way to test yourself is to put your phone in front of you and then record yourself. Try and pronounce the words. When you finish, watch it and then know how you fared. You can also let a family member or a friend watch the video and give you feedback. So this is the best trick and hacks I've given you here. For such and more videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, press on the notification button to be notified anytime we post